Welcome to the HyperFast show. On this episode of the podcast, I interviewed an amazing real estate agent who was operating 17 Airbnbs when coronavirus and the lockdowns hit. She pivoted her business, took them off Airbnbs, came up with a very unique model, is now at nearly 100% capacity, is expanding and teaching others about this model. And she's doing it all while living in Cabo. Welcome to the show, Amanda Williams. All right, welcome to the show. How are you doing today, Amanda?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, Dan.
I love your background there. You got the EXP going on, the beachy photos. Tell everyone where you're calling in from. I think it'll make a lot of people jealous.
Yes, I am actually in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico.
All right, so you're on vacation, right?
I am not on vacation anymore. We came here for a vacation almost a year ago now, and we just never left. We just didn't take our flight home. We decided that we liked Cabo a little more than the US back in July of last year, and we stayed. So we're now living in Cabo.
I think more people are doing stuff like that. So, maybe like 10, 20 years ago or whatever, people would think that's a little crazy, but I'm hearing more and more of those kinds of transitions lately. Where were you coming from before Cabo? Where were you?
Yeah, we're coming from Raleigh, North Carolina. That's
Okay.
where our main business is back there. But you're right. I think ever since COVID, it just opened everyone up to knowing that they can now work remotely.
And what was that transition like, or the decision, the thought process? Was it difficult?
Well, it's funny. We were supposed to be here for a week. We came down with some friends of ours. We do it about 3 or 4 times a year. We do a little mastermind, just real estate investor friends from across the US. And we came for a week and we said, you know what, we're going to stay for 2 extra weeks and just have a little vacation out of this. And we liked it so much that we ended up signing a 4-month lease at a big compound in Pedregal, if you're familiar with the Cabo area. And we were only going to do 4 months. And then as our 4th month approached, we said, it's kind of working for us. I'm able to do everything I do, on Zoom. I'm able to just actually do more work here. So we're going to sign a 6-month lease. And so we did that. And now our 6-month lease is up. But we're about to sign another 6-month lease, I believe, for this house because we really like it. So it's not like we just said we're moving to Cabo. It was more like, let's try this and let's test it and let's not be locked in for an extended period of time. But as we go on, we just keep wanting to stay.
And what was it like, for your business? Like where is your business? What is it? How are you running it from Cabo?
Yeah, so we run a short-term and mid-term rental business back in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we have our manager back there. So we do have, boots on the ground. We have our cleaning, we have everything set up back there. So we have 17 properties that we're still, managing pretty much back there. And then I'm also with EXP. So I've been with them for 4 years. So I've got agents in 18 states and 3 countries. And just so happened, we just opened Mexico in December. So I'm working the model down here as well and partnering with some really amazing brokers here in Cabo. So it's been easy, and it's actually been, I guess, more of an attraction method for the EXP model because people actually see like, oh, I can actually still have a life and travel and still be in real estate. And that's really my goal, for everyone.
And what is your STR, MTR business? Are you managing for other owners, or do you own the properties yourself, or are you doing rental arbitrage? Tell us a little bit about that business and how it works for you.
Yeah, so we started out house hacking our personal property. My dad got sick a few years ago, three years ago, and so we ended up just putting our personal property on Airbnb. It worked out perfectly because we actually took him to Mexico for alternative cancer treatment down there. And while we were there, we were like, "Wow, we should probably do more of this," because at the time we had long-term rental properties, and we still do, but we started buying more properties, and then the properties that we were flipping, we decided to keep and turn those into short-term rentals. And then on our fifth property, we got smart and we said, oh, there's this thing called arbitrage, where you actually don't have to own these properties and spend the $50,000, $100,000. You can actually just rent the properties from the landlord and then turn around and sublease that out. And so that's what we've done on all of the other properties that we've taken under our wing. And we don't do any co-hosting. We just straight up just do arbitrage and sign the lease, and it's all our responsibility. And that's all great until COVID hit us and we were 100% Airbnb. So as you can imagine, we lost a lot of money in 2 days and we had to pivot our business. So we're actually, I still say, STR, MTR, because I do still teach agents how to do Airbnb, but we're not even really on Airbnb. 98% of our bookings are coming from our own marketing, and we're booking everything on 30, 60, 90-day rentals at this point. And that's what I've relabeled that to be a midterm rental instead of a short-term rental.
And so there's still a lot of the properties are ones that you've secured long-term leases on, correct? You still, but now instead of doing Airbnb, you're getting people there through other sources. How are you doing that?
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot on social media. So just our Facebook and our Instagram. And then we just had our website rebuilt as well. And so now we're giving out free resource guides. I have a Live Like a Local program that I do where we're really targeting relocation clients. So people who are coming to Raleigh from, a big city, LA, Chicago, New York, wherever, and we're allowing them to come into our properties and stay for a few weeks or a few months at a time. And they can really get a feel for what the area is like, because we saw a problem. And the problem was people were relocating to the area, but they didn't know the area. And so they were literally choosing where they were going to up and move their families based on a house. And there's a lot of little cities around Raleigh that are totally different. And so this just gives them the ability to kind of test it out, try the neighborhood.
So what's the name of the site in case people want to check it out?
Well, the name of our company is carolinafurnishedrentals.com. Okay. Yep.
carolinafurnishedrentals.com. So you put a lot of resource guides on there, and then they can look at the different properties and book right on the site as well.
Well, we don't actually allow anyone to book on the site.
No? Okay.
Yeah, we do have to go through kind of an interview process. We don't just let anyone book our houses. We have to, see what the situation is and all that. So yeah, they would just give us a call or they would shoot us an email and then we'd have a conversation with them.
That's kind of amazing. You were able to shift it from Airbnb to your own site, and I imagine there's a lot of advantages to that, not just financially as well, because the Airbnb fees they're more on the renter really than the owner, I think, but I think there's a lot of other advantages to like controlling the site. What are your thoughts on that or experience?
Oh yeah, I mean, just the amount of the double, triple, quadruple dipping, right? Because we're making the money on the clients coming in and obviously staying in our properties, but also these are people who are buying homes, and a lot of them don't have a real estate agent yet. So we're able to, partner them up with one of our agents, which at that point we're getting paid like 3 different ways. And then we just launched our rental car business too. So now we have a Turo car, a Mercedes that they can rent, and that's even more, right? So I'm always looking for ways number one, to add value to our clients coming into the area, because this is like a one-stop shop. You fly in, you Uber to the house that's fully furnished, you bring your suitcase, the keys are on the counter for your car. You can stay as long as you want. You can move to different locations for as long as you want. And then when you're ready to go home, then you just leave the car there, Uber back to the airport, or have your agent take you, which we've partnered you with, or unless you already have an agent. And so it's just a huge value add for the people coming into the area. And it's a really good business for an agent to be in as well, because you kind of have your hands in all aspects.
And so all 17, is it 17 houses? Did I get that number right?
Yeah.
They're all around Raleigh or within a certain amount of time from Raleigh?
Yeah, I would say within 30 to 45 minutes of downtown Raleigh.
Hey, hold that thought for a minute. Do you have a client that needs to buy or sell a home in the DMV area? Then why not trust the highest selling team in the DMV, the Carrie Scholl team? We've helped thousands of buyers and sellers and would love to help your clients. And we guarantee we will save them time, money, and stress throughout the process. And they will be so grateful that you referred them to us. Go to carriescholl.com to learn more. Again, that's carriescholl.com to learn more about sending us your clients that need to buy or sell a home in the DMV area. That's carriescholl.com.
And are they what kind of occupancy rates were you at, like, during COVID, and did it slow down a lot, or at first, and how long did it take to build it back up, and where are you at now?
Yes, that's a really good question. So when we were 100% Airbnb, we stayed at around 80 to 85% occupancy on Airbnb. And that's actually really good for
that is pretty
Airbnb.
good.
There was some little tweaks that we would go in and do every single day to make sure our property stayed at the top of the list. But so that was all great. And then when COVID hit, literally, like, everything canceled, everything. $50,000 just kind of vanished overnight. And we were left with a bunch of properties that were empty. And we freaked out a little bit. So that's when I kind of got creative. We did list one of the properties like the day after this happened, which now I'm kicking my butt about, because it's already gone up like 50,000 in value. And now
you sold it?
We did. Yeah. We put it on the market, sold in like 8 hours. And then I was like, dang it. But it's okay. So yeah, we did that. And I'll tell you a funny story. I was kind of going at every single thing I could think of to get these properties full. And we had one client reach out to us actually on Airbnb and just say, hey, we're moving into the area, or not, we're looking to get away from New York City. We may end up moving down, but we need a spot to stay. We got to get out of New York, because there was rumors going around that they were going to shut the borders down. And
I remember those days.
Yeah. And so I went into this Facebook group for Raleigh, and I just said, hey, this is what we have going on. My perfect client is someone who maybe is trying to escape New York City apartment life and actually come down to North Carolina and quarantine in a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath house on, an acre of land, because that's all of our properties are on over a half an acre of land. So anywhere from half an acre all the way up to 4 acres, all of our properties. So that was my pitch. And I literally got torn apart. I mean, I'm talking, there were 400 comments, negative comments, by the way, saying that I was bringing the Yankees down, right? That had COVID, and I was bringing them all to Raleigh, North Carolina. And they were turning me into like the news stations and the attorney general and like craziness. But you know what? A week after that, even though I had all of those negative comments, I had every single one of our properties booked, because people saw that, and they're like, the ones that had some common sense, they ended up calling us and they were like, yeah, I do want to come down and quarantine in one of your houses on an acre of land.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, if you're from New York, that's like, you don't get that much space anywhere.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of those people came down, and many of them have bought houses with us now, and they just loved it, and they ended up just staying.
How do you get, like, and obviously you have the site up, but how do people find out about it? How do you get traffic to the site, or, people to inquire about all of your houses?
Yep. So we haven't even started running our ads yet because we are literally just putting the final touches on our site this Friday, actually. So it's out there, it's up, it's live, it's running, and people are finding us really from probably from my Facebook page, honestly. And then also we have someone running our Facebook account and our Instagram account for the business as well, Carolina Furnished Rentals. So she's doing little articles here and there about it and posting stuff out, boosting them, or I don't even think she's ran any ads yet because I'm like, slow it down a little bit because we're not 100% ready to go. And by the way, we're 100% full right now. We've been 100% occupied this entire time since we figured out the midterm rental route. Yeah.
And it's 30-day minimum.
Yep. Most of our clients stay about 2 to 3 months on average.
And do you list them in the MLS as well?
Nope.
No?
Nope. EXP has nothing to do with property management.
Sure.
And I do not, I own my own firm, but I do not want to have a trust account and all that stuff. So I keep it straight up arbitrage. There's a lot of legal stuff that goes along with it if you're putting into the MLS and taking the security deposits and all that stuff. So we don't do that.
Gotcha. In terms of pricing, like, where does the monthly rent compare? If you look on the spectrum, like obviously long-term rent is the cheapest. And then if you're 100% occupied on short-term rent, like that's, the most expensive. Where does this middle tier, where does it fit in that spectrum?
So that's the beautiful part, right? We were the first people, and I think we're still the only, us and then a few of the agents in my organization that I've taught how to do this too. We're the only ones offering this in Raleigh. And so we've pretty much created the market. Just as an example, we can pay a landlord, $1,500 a month in rent. We normally have about $500 to $600 a month in expenses on that because, we are paying the utilities, we're paying the Wi-Fi, the trash, the landscaping, the insurance, all that stuff. And so let's just say we're in for that property for $2,100, then we'll turn around and we'll rent that property for between $3,000 and $3,500, depending on the location of it. If we're able to profit $1,000 per month per property, then we've hit our goal.
Gotcha. And what type of team does it take to manage, 17 of these?
It's really not. I mean, we have to have, our guy there on the ground. So we have a cleaning company that we use as well, but he still has to go in after every single cleaning and make sure that it's done correctly. There's no hair. He sets the beds and he sets all the bathroom, utilities and all that stuff too. Or toiletries, utilities. So he goes in and does like the final touches on all the properties. And then he's also there for maintenance, for some of the landscaping. We do have a landscaping company as well that we've hired, but these are just all contractors. Every single one of them are contractors. And so we still deal with all of the messaging, the interactions between the guest, and I write all the leases on the properties. And that's really it. My partner, Alex, my boyfriend and partner, we run this business together. And so he's the one that really is in communication with the clients.
And then you mentioned earlier different revenue sources. So obviously you have the rental income. If they buy a house in there and you send them to an agent in your network, you have that source of income. What are the other revenue sources that you're able to kind of put in this this ecosystem you've created?
Yeah, so I'm sure you know the EXP model. So the people that we're referring these deals to are in my revenue share group. And so with that, we're getting also a 3.5% because most of these are in my first line. Some of them are my second line. So I'll get an additional 4% or 3.5% depending. And then if it's that agent's first transaction with us, then the company actually gives me stock as well. And so it's really getting a lot of my newer agents off the ground with the company and with us. and then just keeping them rolling that way. So that's the other two that really EXP agents get to experience, but any agent can do the referrals. That's totally fine. But I do like to keep it kind of in-house with our people.
Then you mentioned the car as well. I've only heard about this. I've never talked to anyone that has done it. So what does that aspect look like? You have one car that's available to anyone in any of these houses, or?
Yeah. It's something brand new for us. We just launched this about a month ago, and Turo.com, it's Turo.com, is kind of like Airbnb for cars, and everything is electronic. It's done on an app, and you can literally check in. We had our car sitting at a location with a lockbox, unless they're actually staying with us and they want it delivered at one of the properties. And so they self-check in, they self-check out. It's all done with their phone on their camera to check in and check out. And so everything's just ran through Turo. The insurance on there is really good. If anyone were to, even door ding, anything, I do the highest insurance on there. So we're really only getting 60% of what we're charging, but everything is like taken care of. So
how much revenue is that bringing in for you? And I know it's early, but
yeah, it is. It's early. We only we had it on for I think 2.5, maybe 3 weeks last month, or I guess last 30 days, because I was actually in town driving it. But it brought in about $600, and the car payment is $525. So we kind of broke even, not including the insurance. I think we're like negative $50, but we only rented it.
It was rented for 2 weeks, or?
No, it was rented it was 3 times. And I want to say one of them was for 2 days. And then we had 1 2-day, maybe 2 nights, and then another 3 night. So it wasn't much. The car rents for about $120 a day.
So basically like a week of rentals will kind of cover the monthly payment on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I wonder why more people don't do it. I was on the other end of it once. I wanted to try a different car when I was kind of in between cars. I rented one for a few days, and it was just like you said. I got on the app, did it. I think I took pictures on my phone, I think, when I was done, and that was that.
Yeah, it's super easy. We travel all the time, and so I actually prefer doing the Turo cars because you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
I want a nice car. I don't want some car that I got to go stand in line at a car rental place for 2 hours for.
Hey, hold that thought for a minute. Do you want to get my best-selling book, The Hyperlocal, HyperFast Real Estate Agent, for absolutely free? This book has helped tens of thousands of real estate agents, and now I want to give it to you for free. All you pay for is the shipping. Look, you can go on Amazon, read all the 5-star reviews, and pay $14.99, or you can go to hyperfastfreebook.com and get it for free. All you pay for is the shipping. Again, that's hyperfastfreebook.com. Get your copy today. Again, hyperfastfreebook.com.
Have you helped other agents in different areas implement this system, this MTR? It seems like right now, with people shifting to online more and more people considering moving, and you've heard of like Zoom towns popping up in places like Idaho and Montana, and just places you'd never even imagine. You would think this would be a model that people could do in a lot of different markets.
It definitely is. As long as you have, people relocating to your market, it works perfectly. We have some ladies out right outside of Denver that are doing it, and they're killing it. They're completely booked as well. They just got their 4th property. I also have some agents down in Florida that are doing it, South Carolina, and let me think. I have another state too, and I forget. Oh, Tennessee. So yes, it's definitely working in other areas. I do have a large group in California as well, but the problem is people are leaving California. A lot of them are not moving to California. So,
are they? So they're, not as many are moving in.
No, you still have that, but it's not, our market, we target California for people leaving California. So I don't know. I haven't ran the numbers on how many people are moving in to those areas, but I know Raleigh, North Carolina, we're up around 70 some people a day moving into our county.
Wow, that's a lot. Well, this is a really interesting model. This is the first I think that I've heard of this, and I can see 4 or 5 or 6 kind of ways, I guess spokes on the hub of how you can make money off of it and provide something that not a lot of people are providing for people. So super interesting. What if any are your expansion plans? Are you gonna go into other markets, get more homes in Raleigh, focus on growing your agent network? What do you think is the next steps for you guys?
Yeah, that's a good question. So right now, like we are picking up a few more. I think we'll probably hit 20 ourselves. And then I don't want any more than 20 ourselves. I just want to teach my agents how to do this too, and then help them get this going. And then, we're still benefiting because they're bringing in those leads. And then I would love just to help market for them as well. And that's really where I see this going. And creating markets all over. Like I've been talking with a lady up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that's like a fantastic market as well. And so I really want to focus on that. I want to focus on growing our agents. If I could just have one or two really good agents doing this in each like major hub that people are relocating to, we could blow this out of the water. And so that's what I'm focusing on for the rest of the year is just working with that and finding the right agent, because not every agent can do this. But the agents that are coachable and willing to really dive in and get their feet dirty, get their hands dirty in the beginning, but make this thing work like we've done.
What's the typical startup cost per home or unit, in case people out there are wondering, can I do this? Like how much capital does it take to get one of these going?
So it cost us about $10,000 per property. And that's with a rent amount of about $1,500. And so, because you're doing your rent, your first month rent, you're doing your security deposit, and then you're furnishing the property. So that's your startup cost. We do not buy everything from Amazon. We get creative with that. You go the Amazon route, you're going to spend a boatload of money. And
are you? I would think it would be cheaper and it just wouldn't last long enough, but it costs more to go that route, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're buying everything like, I don't know. People do it.
Yeah.
People do it, especially when you're furnishing. A lot of our a lot of other co-hosts or hosts are actually doing apartments and condos and townhomes and stuff like that, and it's easier to do the furnishings for something like that. But we're going
just because they're smaller, right?
They're smaller. Yeah, we're getting homes that are 2,000 to 4,000 square foot. So we're needing some good furniture to go in there and some good, huge artwork and outdoor furniture and barbecues, and we just want to make it homey. And so we're able to do that for about between $5,000 to $7,000 the way that we're doing it, completely furnishing.
Wow. Well, I think it's a great model. I think for people out there who don't have the cash or credit to close on a house or buy a home the traditional way, you could get started for a lot less than it takes most investors, and it seems like within a few months, you can get back what you've put into it. So super interesting model, and I look forward to seeing you expand it and teach others and grow this network. Before we wrap up, I always like to end with a HyperFast round, if you're ready for some quick questions and answers here.
Sure.
All right. What's your biggest piece of advice to a new real estate agent?
Find a coach. Find a coach and do exactly what they tell you to do, because the steps are there. It's all in front of you, and it's just a matter of following it and having someone holding you accountable for it too. Because I believe a lot of new real estate agents, they get into the business and they think it's going to be simple and easy, and it's not. and you have to have a lot of self-motivation to make this thing work. And you really, I think having a coach and having accountability and a good group around you, a good team, a good tribe is super important.
What's a mistake you see experienced agents make that you think they can avoid?
Oh gosh, not building a foundation in the very, very beginning, and then getting way busy, chaotic, crazy realtor status, and then not having any of your systems set up. And so then you feel like you're drowning and you're overwhelmed. We see that a lot as well.
What's the biggest challenge you've had in business, and how did you overcome it?
Well, it's funny because what I just said, not setting up my foundation properly, creating a lot of LLCs, but taking advice from 4 or 5 different attorneys and people, and not just sticking to one person and following that rule.
When you're not working on your business, and I probably know the answer to this question already, but what are you doing for fun?
Well, we're traveling a lot, but when we're here in Cabo, we love hiking. We love ATVing up here, going to the beach, surfing. I don't surf. I lay on the beach and watch him surf. But just we're outdoorsy people. So anything that's outdoorsy, like we're going camping this weekend on the East Cape. So anything like that is right up our alley.
Awesome. Sounds like fun. Last question. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
10 years from now, gosh. Okay. So definitely 10 years, I should have at least 10,000 agents in my organization minimum. I mean, that's my 5-year goal actually, but so tons of agents that we're helping and having all of our systems in place for them, watching them grow their businesses, watching them grow their passive income strategies, and everything pretty much on go, meaning everything automated because we do have a goal of buying a boat and just traveling around the world on a boat. That's what I want to do. And I'm a big travel.
Sail or power?
I want a power catamaran.
Okay.
Yep. And so, do that. And then just, continuing the traveling. So that's the biggest, that's my biggest passion. And so I've figured out how to kind of marry the two. And I'm like, well, I can't travel unless I have passive income. So what can I do to create passive income?
Awesome. Well, Amanda, this has been really great, really informative. I really love this model. I think our listeners and viewers got a ton of value out of being exposed to this, because I don't think a lot of people even know it exists. So thank you for all of your wisdom, inspiration. If people want to connect with you, learn more about this model or about your agent network, how should they do that?
Yeah, so I am Amanda the Traveling Realtor on all social networks. That's my website as well, amandathetravelingrealtor.com. And I have a ton of freebies too. So if you go to mypassivelife.com/video, you're going to find a passive income video. If you do /strip, let me explain this. My strip for realtors is how to build your short-term rental investment portfolio.
Gotcha.
So
short-term rental investment portfolio.
Yes. Yeah. It's catchy though, right? Had a strip for realtors.
It is. I like it.
Yeah. So I'm sure you'll have all that out there, but if you just follow me and look and see what we have going on, you're going to find that everywhere. So I look forward to connecting with any of your audience, and any questions they may have as well. Reach out to me. I'm totally accessible.
All right. Connect with Amanda, the Traveling Realtor. Thank you so much for all of your inspiration and sharing this model with us today. For all the listeners and viewers out there, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you share this with someone that you think could benefit from learning about it as well. And we'll see you next time. All righty. Thank you.
Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest HyperFast shows. And remember, we love reviews. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you want 100 real estate tips from my best-selling book, click right here to download them instantly. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. And leave some comments about what you think on the videos.